It's always a bit scary to kick off something new because it feels way too hard. We've all been there, right? When you see something brand new in front of you, it's natural to feel that urge to back off. Your brain starts making everything seem complicated. You think you have to get everything figured out before you can even start. But you know what? Starting out is way easier than it seems. The key is realizing you don't need to know it all to jump in. That fear of not being ready is what holds you back from moving forward. Here's the deal. We've been taught to learn all wrong. From a young age, we've been trained to follow a learning style that doesn't really work in the real world. Let's break down why the school system kind of misses the mark. First off, grades. In school, we're not really learning for the sake of knowledge, we're learning for grades. When you're focused on acing that test, you start losing sight of what really matters, the actual knowledge that won't help you at all. But here's the kicker. Life isn't just a list of questions where you've got all the answers. Sometimes you're hit with tests that need skills you haven't even picked up yet, and school totally doesn't prepare you for that. Second, school messes up how we think about practice. We've been taught that you learn theory first, then go apply it. You know, learn a formula, then use it right away. But in the real world, it's not like that at all. You might need to use knowledge you don't even have yet, and you gotta learn on the fly. That's why figuring things out while you're doing them is way more effective. So how do you learn the right way? It's simple. Dive into practice. I share with you 4 tips that actually helps me. First, theory without practice, it's pretty much useless. Your brain doesn't just memorize facts, it learns through various types of memory. You've got your motor memory and mechanical memory that really kick in when you get hands-on. If you want to get good at video editing, just reading about it or watching tutorials won't cut it. You need to dive right into the editing software, start experimenting and make those mistakes. The more you practice, the more those skills become second nature. When you actively engage with what you're learning, you create stronger connections in your brain, making it easier to recall and apply that knowledge later. Second, use the Findan technique. Want to really understand something? The Findan technique is a game changer. Try explaining the concept to someone else in the simplest terms possible. If you can't break it down, it's a sign that you don't fully grasp it yet. This method forces you to confront any gaps in your knowledge. Start by writing down everything you know about the topic, then simplify it as if you were explaining it to a kid. This process not only clarifies your understanding but also highlights areas where you need to dig deeper. Plus, teaching others reinforces your own learning, making the information stick better. Third, try spaced repetition. When learning something new, avoid the temptation to cram everything in at once. Instead, utilize spaced repetition. This technique involves reviewing the material over increasing intervals. Once after a day, then a few days later, and finally a week later. This method helps your brain store information in long-term memory, enhancing retention without overwhelming you. It's like giving your brain little reminders, allowing it to solidify the information. You can use flashcards or apps designed for spaced repetition, which make it fun and interactive. By spacing out your reviews, you're more likely to recall the information when you really need it. Mind mapping. Create mental maps to visualize information. This method involves drawing a diagram where the main topic is in the center, with branches extending out for key points. For instance, if you're studying programming, you'd write Python at the center, and from there, branch out to topics like loops, inner functions, and libraries. Mind maps help organize thoughts and make connections between ideas clearer. This visual representation allows your brain to process information more efficiently. Plus, it's a fantastic tool for revisiting and revising topics later. When you look at a mind map, you can see the big picture and how everything ties together, which enhances understanding. So, how do you learn anything in just 2 months? The answer is simple. Don't stress about learning all the theory at once. Start practicing and pick up the theory as you go. It doesn't matter if it's video editing, coding, or strumming a guitar. When you face a challenge, you activate different types of memory: motor, mechanical, and associative. The theory starts to click when you see how it works in real life. So, don't hesitate. Just get out there and start doing it, and let the theory come to you in the process. And remember, it's all about balance. Practice what you learn and learn from what you practice.